everyone, welcome to this month's Charleston Tech Chat. This is a monthly series where we spotlight local tech talent and we talk about what it's like to live and work in Charleston. And today we are on Folly Beach at Pier 101. It is a gorgeous day and I'm here with Will and AJ, two local entrepreneurs. And just bear with us if it gets a little loud or a little dark. We're at the beach, so we can't complain, and we just got to talk about all the good things of living and working in Charleston. So thank you so much for talking with me, and they're totally up for questions, so if you want to send some questions, please send them our way. So let's just, jump right into it, and I want you to tell me both about what brought you to Charleston, and a little bit about your companies, SENTIO and the Q Trivia. So I'll start with AJ.
Cool. So I was coming off of another project in New York, and my wife and I had an opportunity to really go anywhere in the United States. So we hopped in a plane and we did a road show for about 30 days where we flew to all the usual suspects because we want tech, we want fashion because that's what she's into, we wanted energy. So we went to Denver, Austin, Nashville, Louisville, Silicon Valley, of course, New York, and we came to Charleston. Fell in love with it, quickly canceled the rest of our flights, and
I love that.
got in a truck in the next 6 weeks and moved down here. But I'm the CEO of SENTIO. We help companies decide who to hire, which we learned to be a fundamentally difficult thing to do for businesses. 46% of all new hires fail. We're hoping to cut that number in half with really cool software.
That's awesome. So if you're watching this right now and you're hiring, which I know all of you are, make sure you follow up with AJ and give him a call.
Thank you.
So, Will, tell me a little bit about
Awesome.
Q Trivia and your life.
Yeah. Will Jameson, CEO of the Q Trivia, which is a live trivia game show platform on your phone where people answer questions, they get paid. It's easy enough if you win.
They can download the Q Trivia right now?
Correct, and they can win money at 8:30 at night every single night of the week.
That's great.
Yeah, but I moved to Charleston 6.5, maybe 7 years ago, I think, right around today, actually, believe it or not. I came here for school, went to college at Charleston. I came here initially from, love the city, love the culture, the college was great, and it was after touring around tons of top tech schools in the U.S. and fell in love with the city and the tech scene here. And I moved, and post-graduation, everything I needed to want to stay, and I'm here probably for life. Go Charleston.
It's great. And I might be wrong here, but both the companies you have, they're not your first companies, right?
Correct.
So you guys are, established entrepreneurs, and you're both in your young 20s. So you could be anywhere. You chose to Charleston. What will make you stay in Charleston?
Yeah, I think the quality of life here is just incredible. Both of us probably visit all the big cities all the time for work, from our clients and just traveling. And all my friends are like, "Oh, you're so lucky. You get to go to San Francisco, LA, New York, Paris." I'm like, "Guys, that's awesome, but I'd much rather actually be in Charleston."
So true.
I'm going to these places for work. They're cool, but for small doses. But like living on it every single day and being able to go to the beach 8 months out of the year or more, having no traffic, having direct flights to New York, that's huge. People don't realize how easy it is to get to those other cities, and it's so much cheaper here. You can do so much more. I love it.
Yeah, and I think from like a social perspective, you have to remember that we work and operate in a place where other people vacation. And that's a really cool thing to say and to be a part of. But also, I think the business community here is so giving. Where when I first started thinking about coming to Charleston, I reached out to 5 people, head of an incubator, 2 potential customers, a local CEO, and a local nonprofit I was passionate about. And I got an email back from 4 people like within 24 hours. So I knew that was unique about Charleston because you have that southern charm and hospitality, something that you wouldn't get in those big cities because it's just so hard to get to people.
And I think that kind of leads into the next question is that, we're talking about how, we always talk about Charleston open source and how collaborative this community is, and that's one of the big reasons why the tech community is doing well here. But what about narrowing that conversation down to the startup community? Anything that makes, Charleston startup community unique?
Yeah, I like the fact that people who have exits come back to Charleston. So we have big exits in the hundreds of millions. Those CEOs and founders come back and contribute to the ecosystem. You have people with $50 million exits, $5 million exits, always coming back. and serve as mentors for people like Will and I. So we come here and you're given all the resources, the know-how to build a large business, scale a large business, but also have that culture of giving back, which I think is unique.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that really drives any startup community, but Charleston does a great job of doing is founders from here exit and reinvesting in the community. I mean, everything's about reinvesting. It's like, it'd be one thing for other cities that people are from, I don't know, Minnesota, they exit a company there, they'll probably move to San Francisco and join a VC fund. Or in Charleston, the exits are very giving back, and they educate people on how they were successful in Charleston, because how you're successful in every market is different. And they've been successful in Charleston, so their advice is incredible.
Right.
And just the young entrepreneurs are so willing to collaborate with others that it's so valuable, and they're willing to share their ups and downs, their falls, and be as helpful as they can to each other. And it's not as cutthroat and as competitive as otherwise people would be.
Right. So picking
Which
up
is
the
nice.
phone and got some good names. I think the balance here is really fantastic to be able to pick up the phone and have that collaboration. One thing we're always talking about is the workforce. So that's obviously a big conversation. It's about what Charleston Open Source is about. And the one question we're always getting is, are young people coming to Charleston? And I think sitting here with the two of you, entrepreneurs and everything, tell us a little bit about the trend of a lot of young entrepreneurs and young workforce coming here to Charleston.
Speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming. It's slow. It's a slower process there, but they're coming. Like most of my friends that are like my age are entrepreneurs in San Francisco, New York, LA. And every time I go to those cities, they're like, why don't you move here? And I was like, you guys ever been to Charleston? Their first response is, I don't want to go to a hillbilly town.
Oh.
And they come.
It's brutal.
And they fall in
And
love.
then they're like, I get it now. They're like,
Right.
they go to a bar, they have a $5 beer as opposed to a $20 beer. And then it's like, it all makes sense to them. And the quality of life and the fact that they realize that they can get to another city super easily makes them like, okay, this is awesome. And I think just the culture is incredible.
Right, I know we're always telling
And it's
people.
not a hillbilly town.
I know, right? These South people have a tendency. I'm from West Virginia, so I mean I know about the stereotypes, and I think that's one thing South Carolina people have a tendency, especially when you're competing with the Bostons and the Silicon Valleys. Every time somebody comes here, I think it takes less than 5 minutes sometimes for them to go, this is where I would want to be to do things. So.
Plane ticket to New York is a lot cheaper than rent.
Yeah.
That's great. Plane ticket to New York is cheaper than rent. I like that. It might be a line we use somewhere.
Quote it for the video.
All right, we'll just kind of go to an easier one. I've asked you long, big old questions. In 3 words, why Charleston for tech?
They don't have to be in sequence. They can just be 3
They
words.
can just be top of your head.
History, millennials, food.
All right. How about you?
People are hungry to follow up food for the start of success. Cost of doing business is substantially cheaper than the other markets, and the community is incredible. I think those are the top 3 in my opinion.
All right. Food, community, affordability. There you go.
Right there.
There you go. So you guys you're scaling your startups, and so hiring is going to be a part of that. And whereas a lot of companies out there, it's hiring tech talent. Where's the first place you would take talent if you were trying to recruit them to Charleston? Where would you take them in the area?
I'd take them to the beach.
The beach?
Yeah. I think a lot of people that we're competing for are typically like Midwest/Texas is where a lot of the tech talent, at least we're looking at, especially with machine learning coming out of. And this is the big differentiator,
Right.
is having the opportunity to build a stack on the beach, present it over oysters, and then go downtown to the office and be able to show the rest of the team.
I met with a local entrepreneur and CEO, and he kept saying coding in the Carolinas, and I loved that one. So I referenced that one a lot. So how about you?
We got a straight sequence I stick to every single time.
All right.
Come from the airport, the office, we hang out, give them a tour, and then we go straight to Shem Creek. Either go to Saltwater Cowboys or Reds, and then go downtown for dinner at Hall's, and then go to Mint for drinks afterwards.
Wow. That's
Every
great.
single time. It's like 10 for 10.
You want to hire me?
I like that. Oh, those are all great spots. Where's your office located?
Daniel Island.
In Daniel
so
Island?
it's super easy for them to hop straight from the airport to DI and then go down to Mount P, Shem Creek downtown.
It's a great spot.
Yeah.
Is that a 2-day experience?
It's a 1 day.
1 day.
Wow, that's a packed
Day
day.
day 2's beach.
The day 2 speech.
They signed the papers on day 3.
We'll take you out to the beach, but you need to sign this offer letter right now.
Well, I'd say it's the weekend. What are you doing? We'd say the beach, but it's Monday and we're at the beach. So welcome to Charleston, South Carolina. But it's the weekend. What are you guys gonna do?
It's a good question. It changes every single weekend, which I think is really cool. So there's always a new festival, a new event to go to. I'm a big history buff, so I like going to plantations or go check out, one of the old battlefields or do something along those lines. I mean, from here to Orangeburg, there's so many hidden gems that have a lot of historical significance to American history, which I just always love exploring.
Right.
Yeah, mine's different as well. It depends on if I'm having inspired and have an athletic weekend, or we're gonna play tennis or go running, or more of a fun, casual, hang out at the beach, go enjoy a nice shelter brunch with the band. Yeah, it varies depending on inspiration of that weekend.
I had a good weekend this past weekend. I did a pool party and then went to the Windjammer and saw a 90s cover band play.
Nice.
So, it's always good to have a all parents weekend. All right, speed round. And then so these are just going to throw them out and say what's the first thing that comes to your mind, all right? I say favorite restaurant other than Pier 101 because it's great here. Come by and see it.
Pier 101.
So thank you to Pier 101 for letting us come here. But other favorite restaurants?
Bowen's Island.
That's a good one. Such a cool one.
Pier 101.
There you
Once
go.
a marketer and entrepreneur, always a marketer and entrepreneur. Favorite beach?
Folly.
Bali.
Sullivan's.
Isle of Palms. We'll hit them all. Favorite local event?
Charleston Fashion Week.
It's a good one. People don't know about that one either here.
That's a great one.
So many. Boone Hall Oyster Roast.
That's
Good one. It's one of the largest in the country. It's like 40,000 people. It's pretty crazy. All right, next. Best place for a caffeine fix?
I really like the Harbinger. It's on Upper King.
All right.
It's in
I
a
don't
really
know that
cool
one yet.
area.
I'm gonna check
Very
that.
nice vibe there.
All right.
Black Tap Coffee
a good
downtown, but there's
They just
also
changed their name.
Black Tap. Did?
Yeah.
No way. Well,
Second State.
Second State.
All right, there you go.
And then, but a close follow-up is Low Tide Brewing, where they have coffee kegs delivered to your house.
Oh.
So I'd say my house is number 2.
I like that. All right. Best place for barbecue?
Lewis Barbecue, hands down.
Hands down?
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
All right. It's usually an ongoing war between Lewis and Rodney. So.
Except there's a new place on James Allen called Blackwood,
All right.
and it's right next to Osaka and the Windermere Plaza. Highly would recommend it.
Okay, good. You can tell we love
that.
food. No one can
Yeah, we
decide
love
ever on
food,
one
yeah.
thing. Favorite brewery? Great brewery scene here.
gosh. Revelry.
Revelry?
Revelry for the view, Westbrook for the beers.
All right, that's great.
Nice.
Have to check them all out. Beer Week's about to start here in Charleston, and
Restaurant
it's
Week's
an
coming
amazing,
up, too.
Restaurant Week and Beer Week. It's a good time to come to Charleston.
Yeah.
That was
So
one of the things when I first moved here. Like the brewery scene was like basically non-existent, and now it's like legit.
it's a legit brewery
Yeah, there's a
scene.
lot coming up in North Charleston.
Google Charleston brewery scene, and you will be amazed. So, all right. Well, last but not least, Charleston in one word.
Beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Can't say enough good things about it.
I've done about 13 of these so far, and I don't think anyone has used a word that wasn't beautiful, amazing, or fantastic, and that really does sum up everyone's love of this community. So I wanted to say thank you so much to Pier 101. I wanted to thank you so much for AJ and Will for having us and sitting us down today. We'll be posting this video, so if you want to check it out and share it with friends who are thinking about coming down to Charleston, please do so. We will be at Boomtown next month, and hey, it's never too late to send your questions in, so we'd love to answer if you have any questions about the tech scene or the entrepreneur scene. So thank you guys, and everybody have a wonderful week.
Thanks, y'all.